Welcome to the Saturday Slam and Jam here on the Athletic NBA Daily. On today's show, we're talking about the good, the bad, and the what of this week. Adam Mares of DNVR joins to talk Nuggets, and then we finish off with some trivia. But Al, first, tell me what happened in the NBA this week.
Andrew, the top story this week is the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit.
They have won 11 straight games. They currently sit atop the Eastern Conference at 13-2. Just a couple years removed from being the talk of the NBA for a very different kind of streak, the Pistons now have their longest streak since the 07-08 season. And meanwhile, the architect of that infamous losing streak from a few seasons ago has gotten the opportunity to do it again as the Pelicans lost their 7th straight this week. Now, for the Pistons, next 2 games, Milwaukee without Giannis and the Pacers. If they win those 2 games, it will set up a matchup with the Celtics next Wednesday on ESPN, where a win would clinch the longest winning streak in Pistons franchise history at 14 games. Now, some of the highlights this week for the Pistons were a starting lineup of Duncan Robinson, Paul Reed, Ron Holland, Javonte Green, and Danish Jenkins beating the Sixers. And then Jalen Duren going for 31-15 against the Pacers. And speaking of Jalen Duren, could the Pistons get 2 All-Stars this year? He wasn't even selected in our first-time All-Star draft this past summer.
Not even thought of.
I know, it's very sad. He is currently averaging 21-12 and is one of only 11 players in the league who are averaging a steal and a block per game in at least 10 games played. Now, another one of those players averaging a steal and a block is, of course, Victor Wembanyama, who suffered a calf strain against the Warriors last Friday, will now be out for a couple weeks. It's very disappointing news, especially coming off of that Warriors game on Friday, during which Wemby had an awesome moment with Draymond Green. Now, according to Draymond, he told Wemby that he was scared of him, to which Wemby replied, "No, I'm not. Watch this." Seconds later, he dunked a baseline out-of-bounds pass all over Draymond, immediately got in Draymond's face. It was a beautiful moment for fans of basketball, fans of Wemby, and haters of Draymond. The Warriors won the game, however, led by Steph Curry's 49 points on 16 of 26 shooting. Even more amazing was that was the second of 2 consecutive games against the Spurs, and Steph scored 46 in the first one. You have to go back to Wizards MJ to find an old guy scoring like this.
Wow.
After the 2 losses to Golden State, the Spurs have bounced back without Wemby, winning 3 in a row and currently sit at 11-4, 5th in the Western Conference. Now, as of Friday morning, the Spurs are tied in the West standings with the Los Angeles Lakers, who saw the long-awaited return of LeBron James this week, suiting up for the first time this season. LeBron played in the Lakers' 140-126 win over the Utah Jazz, putting up 11 points and 12 assists in 29 minutes. LeBron only took 7 shots in the game, which is only the 4th time he has taken 7 or fewer shot attempts in his career, and never when playing more than 21 minutes. Now, the Lakers didn't just make noise on the court this week. Lakers owner Jeannie Buss fired her 2 younger brothers, Joey and Jesse Buss, from their roles with the Lakers, along with several members of the scouting team. In a statement, the brothers Buss said, quote, "We wish things could be different with the way our time ended with the team. At times like this, we wish we could ask our dad what he would think about it all." Yikes. If you would like to read more about this awkward-ass family, check out friend of the show, your own Weitzman's book, A Hollywood Ending. Now,
that's all I can think about.
Yeah, me too. It's not happening in California, but the Chicago Bulls gave us several Hollywood endings this week. After being the early surprise team this year, it looked like things may be going off the rails when Josh Getty got shook off the face of the earth by DeAndre Hunter. The Bulls ended up losing 5 straight, including a double overtime 150-147 loss to the Utah Jazz this week, a game in which Lauri Markkanen scored 47. The Bulls had dropped all the way back to 500 after starting the season 6-1. We had gone from the Bulls are back to the Bulls are back to being the Bulls. But guess what? The Bulls are back again, because after the Utah game, the Bulls had to go second night of a back-to-back in Denver against the Nuggets. But you can't keep this team down. They went into Denver. They beat the Nuggets, winning in the clutch after the Nuggets had erased a 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter. And next up was another road game, this time in Portland against the Blazers. And once again, despite having a massive fourth quarter lead, this time 21 points, the Bulls gave it all away as the Blazers stormed back, but it was meant to be as Nikola Vucevic hit the game-winning three-pointer as time expired, getting the Bulls to 8-6 and back on track to be a surprise team this season. And those were the top stories this week. Also, Tyrese Maxey scored 54. I didn't know where to fit it in, but he did it.
He did do that.
Yeah, what a week, Andrew. But is now time to talk about something we like, something we didn't like, and something that maybe confused us in a segment we're calling Good, Bad, What? Now, Andrew, what was your good this week? What's something good?
Here's something good. There are 54 two-man combos that have played at least 300 minutes together so far this season.
Okay.
There's some really good ones out there. There's a couple of really good Rockets ones. Şengün and Amin Thompson are plus 15.8 together.
Okay.
KD and Şengün are plus 13.
Yeah.
But the very best two-man combo comes from the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now I'm going to put you on the hot seat right now.
Oh, this is easy. I got it. I already got it.
Can you name the best two-man combo for the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Is it Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Isaiah Joe?
It is not.
Oh.
It is not.
It's got to be my guy, Isaiah Joe.
It's not Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe's not part of the combo.
Okay. Hartenstein and AJ Mitchell?
No, another good guess.
Thank you.
Because the Thunder's like death lineup happens to be like a bench lineup, but no.
Usman Jang and Brooks Barnheiser.
I wish. I wish that was the case. That would be really, really funky. Shai is one.
Shai is one.
Shai with somebody else.
And it's not Chet?
It's not Chet.
Chet would be the obvious
That's
one.
too obvious. Too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious. It's probably not Wiggins. He's been out for a little while.
Correct.
Probably not Caruso. Oh, Cason Wallace.
Cason Wallace.
There we go.
Shai and Cason Wallace are a plus 23 as a duo so far this season. And it's an interesting one because Cason Wallace is one of the younger guys on the team, like still developing, but the guy is such a high impact player, and that's started to show so far this season. I feel like AJ Mitchell, and deservingly so, has gotten so much shine as a player to start the season, and he deserves all of it. He's been amazing. But Cason Wallace has gone a little bit under the radar as like one of the best players on the Thunder so far this season. And some of the numbers are starting to pop up. You know, even though you go to three-man combo and like Shai, Chet, and Cason Wallace is ridiculous. And he has had to guard the best player because Dort was out for a while. And that 2-game back-to-back where we saw him guarding Steph Curry and then Luka was like really eye-opening with the kind of defender that he's become. And so just wanted to give a little bit of a shout to Cason Wallace for a leap that he's making that's not necessarily showing up in the box score every night, but he has become like a really, really high impact player.
Yeah, I mean, so impact that I feel like there's an internal war right now among Thunder fans talking about the future of this team because, you know, if everything's great right now, but people are already looking to the future. You're like, how many of these guys are we going to keep?
Yeah.
And the way Cason is playing right now and knowing he's up for an extension this summer, I feel like there's some brawls starting to happen, Andrew.
There could be. Yeah. The worst two-man lineup right now, Pelicans. Fears and Trey Murphy. Minus 21.9 is just like woof. Sorry, I feel sorry for Pels fans.
I don't, because my good this week is Derik Queen.
There you go.
And the game he had against Denver, he scored a career-high 30 points to go along with 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Jokic had a lot of issues dealing with Queen, who blew by Jokic on several possessions. I feel like a lot was made about that matchup with Jokic, but I thought the most impressive moments for Queen in that game was when he was guarded by other players. Yeah. There was a play right before the end of the first half, where he was closely guarded by Bruce Brown at the top of the key. Bruce Brown was hounding him. Yep. He was all up in his space. Queen got his screen, but Brown was right there with him. Queen keeps his dribble alive the entire time while holding off Bruce Brown, backs him down to the block, and then hits a shot off the backboard. You know, his footwork is great, but seeing him manage that kind of ball pressure as a big and maintain his handle the entire time, I just thought was really impressive. I feel like most players would have picked up their dribble in that scenario, especially a lot of bigs. But I really love the confidence he has as a rookie to try stuff like that, to just keep going. Another great play was when Cam Johnson met him around the foul line. Queen bumps him, and then he had this really smooth up and under move. I'm pretty intrigued after watching him against Denver. It's obviously already feeling like a lost season in New Orleans, 2-13.
Mm-hmm.
But Queen is going to make this team watchable. And he also seems like a very fun personality. I'm sure it's going to be up and down. Okay. But he's fun. And I feel like he plays in a way where the ceiling is easy to imagine, if that makes sense. Like there's already so much to work with offensively, so much that is already NBA ready. And I feel like it's more a matter of him putting all these things together versus him needing to develop like a ton of new skills that he hasn't shown yet. And so you get these games like that game against Denver where he's like flashing really high level stuff. Very exciting. So for that, the Pelicans getting a rare good from me this week.
A rare good.
Good.
Jokic had, it felt like zero interest.
I know, that's why
playing
like
defense against him.
the whole like Jokic matchup aspect of that, I was like watching that game and I was like, I don't know if Jokic is really
It's fun to talk about, but it was almost like Jokic was like, I am only going to take 4 steps this whole possession. And so like once I've used up my 4 steps, do whatever you want. It's kind of how it felt.
That was not the most impressive part of that game for Derik Queen. Okay, Andrew, what was your bad this week?
Oh no, the bad this week. Okay. So as of Friday morning, the bottom 5 teams in catch and shoot threes so far this season. This is actually a bad that turns into a good, which is
our favorite kind.
Something that I like to do. Indiana Pacers, bad, 30% on catch and shoot threes.
Yeah, I'll explain more of that in a second.
Dallas Mavericks, 31.8% on catch and shoot threes. Very bad.
Yeah, and Max Christie is probably propping that up.
He absolutely is. Portland Trailblazers, 33%. Bad. Catch and shoot, which is kind of expected. The Oklahoma City Thunder, bad, 33.4%. And the Detroit Pistons,
wow,
33.7%. And so the bad to the good is like, hey, for like the Blazers and the Thunder and the Pistons, who have all had like really nice starts to their season, relative to what the expectations were, it could get better. It could get better for all 3 of these teams because they have not shot it well. And some of it's personnel, certainly. Some of it's personnel. But 33%, like that's rough for good teams. And so you have to expect those to turn around. And then a good into a bad. Want to do that?
Ooh, yeah.
The top
I don't know
5,
if we've had one of those before.
Yeah. We haven't yet. I don't like doing these, but I'm going to do it today. The top 5 teams in catch and shoot threes. The Houston Rockets, 42% catch and shoot.
Yep.
That feels like it's gonna start to go down. The Milwaukee Bucks are 41% from 3.
I don't know.
Shoot.
Is that? I feel like that's believable.
It is. It's really good. It's really good. Phoenix Suns, 40% catch and shoot so far this season.
Definitely real.
And
very real.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, also 40% catch and shoot so far this season. So
so at the bottom, I would say Jaden Ivey coming back. That's got to help. Yeah. I mean we didn't get to see a super large sample, but it looked like that shot was really developing. Yeah. So it'd be nice to have him back. And he's supposed to be back soon. And then at the top, I mean, the Rockets are the most interesting one because their 3-point volume is so low. Yep. I almost was going to do a bit about their 3-point volume because they're shooting fewer than 33s per game. Yeah. Which is really low. You have to go back to like 4 seasons ago to find a team that did that. And yet they're shooting so well that it almost reminds me of those like post Kawhi Spurs teams that just never took any threes, but when they did, they were hitting them.
They made them. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an interesting formula. And I'm excited to see how it plays out. They got a couple shooters with KD and Jabari, but and Reed has been playing a lot better as of late too.
He has. Got to give Reed credit.
So good that he has joined my fantasy team. So good. Andrew, my bad this week. reluctantly is Jarris Walker. Now,
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Jarris Walker
Oh, I
going into that
remember.
2023 draft. This was at a time before the double big lineup in OKC. A lot of Thunder fans, including myself, we saw Jarris as this potential big, versatile 4 that could play next to Chet in these super fast lineups. I was so into Jarris that early in his career, I was even following his G League stats. I'm pretty sure I was bringing up his 3-point shooting in the G League on our Thunder podcast.
Yes, you were. Can
Well,
confirm.
Andrew, he's finally getting an extended run in the NBA with all the injuries in Indiana. Hasn't been going great. Now, I had too much caffeine last night, and I watched all 157 shot attempts that Jarris has taken this season.
Let's go.
First thing you notice is the 3-point volume. He's taken a lot of threes, over 5 per game. He's not shooting them well, 29%, but the volume's good. I'm generally optimistic that that part of his game will figure itself out.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a good shooter in the past on low volume. He's taking high volume for the first time, 29%. I'm feeling okay about that. Inside the arc, though, man, it is rough. Cleaning the glass has him at 50% on shots at the rim. But importantly, he takes 29% of his shots in the short mid-range, floater range, which is in the 91st percentile in the league. In other words, part of the issue is that he's not getting to the rim when he should. And Caitlin Cooper on her Substack Basketball She Wrote detailed several examples of this thing he does where he'll jump off 2 feet in the lane way too early. And as a result, he just gets no lift. It becomes a really easy contest for, I would say, not amazing defenders who are guarding him. And he also takes these really awkward layup attempts at bad angles that never have a chance. And I just find it very weird watching him because he is built. He looks like he should be the most physical guy on the court. But so many of his drives end with either an avoidance of contact or an initiation of contact where he's not in a good position. And I guess I want him to impose himself more on these defenders the way you would expect someone with his physique. I guess the good thing, as Caitlin points out in her piece, is that Jarris is getting the opportunity to play through these mistakes, which really wasn't the case his first 2 seasons. I mean, he just wasn't getting a lot of time.
Yep.
So he is getting an opportunity, and so maybe this is just a painful but necessary stage in his career. And he's obviously taking a lot of shots that he won't be asked to take when the Pacers are eventually healthy. There were so many turnaround jumpers in the mid-range that I was not expecting to see. But even on the things he's going to be asked to do, he has a really long way to go. So for at least this week, it's a bad for me, as much as I was excited about Jarris coming into the league.
Yeah, he does have a long way to go, but it is a blessing to have these tanking seasons. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a gap year, it's a lost season. That is absolutely not true. There is a lot of work to be done for these teams.
Yeah.
And guys like Jarris, they need these opportunities.
They do.
Because he just wasn't getting them. He wasn't getting enough opportunity. And even if he's not good, but then figures out what he needs to do, and now you have all this tape over the summer of what he can do to improve. We've seen, there's evidence of a lot of players that kind of go through this and then figure it out.
Lou Dort is the classic Thunder example. I mean,
it's funny you bring up Lou Dort because he's also number 5. Jarris Walker is, and there's a lot of Dort-esque finishes at the rim, which are non-finishes basically.
Yes.
It's hard not to think about him.
Yeah, I mean, there were points where we were like, obviously he's a good defender, but this is never. I don't know how this could possibly work out because his shot selection on offense is so bad. But it was at a time when they had opportunities. They had a long runway for Lou Dort and other guys like Darius Bazley and Poku, where they could try stuff out. And Lou Dort tried stuff out, and then eventually they tightened the screws, and all of a sudden there was a very good player there.
Yep.
So hopefully the same happens with Jarris. Andrew, what is your what this week?
Oh man, LaMelo Ball, our former colleague and now enemy Kelly Eco reporting that not really. I love Kelly. LaMelo Ball is interested in a trade. He's not requesting it, but he's floating it out there. If you traded me, wouldn't mind it. Biggest problem with this is, boy, he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money for a guy that doesn't play a whole lot. He's still super young. He's still 24. I just had to feel like I had to just like wipe my eyes and like look at it again because I just could not believe he's still 24. But this year, 37.9 million, 40 million in 26-27, 43 in 27-28, and then he makes 46.3 million. No options on that one in 28-29. It's a lot of money to take on. And so if you're the Hornets, you trade this guy. Like find a landing spot for this guy. Clear your cap sheet. Continue to build around some of these guys that you have. And I feel like you're in a really good spot. And if you can kind of clear that money away, you can save money. And in fact, like teams make money when they tank. They make money for the most part. And so if they can trade him and get back a guy that is expiring or maybe expires like in after next year or something, and they can save a ton of money, like do that, please. So I have 4 LaMelo Ball trades that kind of accomplish this to a degree. Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay. First one, and this is probably a team that everybody thinks about because this is where are we going to trade LaMelo Ball? Let's find a directionless team. How about the Sacramento Kings, who suddenly don't have a point guard?
Yeah,
you can just swap Zach LaVine straight up, and Zach has 2 years left on his this year, next year.
Yeah,
it's more money, but you get off the deal earlier, and you know what? Get LaMelo to the Kings. You feeling that? Does that feel good?
I'll say that I like it more than the Kings trading for AD.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That could be fun. Fun.
Yeah, I mean, definitely need a point guard.
Yep.
Definitely shoots threes, which is good. Kings need more of that.
Definitely shoots threes.
Definitely shoots threes. I will say, I don't know what other teams are going to do, but putting myself in the position of a team trading for LaMelo Ball gives me anxiety. Gives me anxiety. I think it's a certain type of desperate team that it would be willing to make a move like that, like going all in and just kind of telling yourself, this first part of his career, we're just kind of throwing it out. We're gonna like eventually the injuries are gonna figure themselves out because none of them have been. It's not like he tore his ACL or something. He's just had these like recurrent ankle injuries over and over again. So maybe you feel like, okay, eventually this will work itself out, a la Steph,
right?
And then everything will be great. So I understand the risk, but man, it would be such a big risk.
Yeah. The Clippers are another team that I just feel like that they need to just take a swing.
Sure.
You know, and like Bogdanovich and John Collins gets you there. For the Hornets, like cap relief. If I don't know if you get picks back when you trade LaMelo Ball. Like I don't know if that's something that happens, but that at least like gets you like instant cap relief, gives you a direction. The Clippers, I don't love the idea of LaMelo Ball and James Harden out there as a duo. Don't like that at all, but it's at least something different to do.
Sure. I mean, they are getting to the point where it's like, well, anything, how could it be worse?
Yeah. It's different. That might be worse though. Like that might be a worse way to go because he also might not play. What if you just swapped LaMelo and Jalen Green? It's one less year for the Hornets.
Yeah.
For the Suns, you get more of like a real point guard in there, and he's super fun. He's a fun guy, LaMelo.
Andrew, you really want to shake up things in Phoenix right now?
I don't know. I don't hate that idea. I think it could be.
Oh man,
it could be a little fun.
Would you trade for LaMelo Ball?
Oh man,
I know it's fun to do these fake trades, but you don't get anxiety just thinking about it?
A little bit. But the teams that I'm like sending him to are all these teams that like do we have a real direction? Like what's going to happen in like 3 years? Like I don't know. Just try LaMelo.
Yeah, I just like with the Kings, for example. Like it's setting up where they are going to get a high pick in this next draft.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to make that type of trade before knowing what that pick is going to be.
Before knowing like you're definitely not getting Darren Peterson. Then it's like, okay.
Because what if they get a top 2 pick and they're able to reorient their entire franchise around this brand new player?
Right.
I don't know for sure that I would want to bring LaMelo. I would at least want to see who I got first.
It's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair.
Now Phoenix, yeah, maybe you're right in that like they're if they're going to do something, it's going to be a trade like that where they're kind of buying low on someone because they don't have a lot of assets moving forward. But yeah, okay, who's next?
Last one.
Uh-huh.
You could swap MPJ for LaMelo and it works.
Okay.
I would not do this if I'm the Nets. But MPJ on the Hornets is a little bit interesting. He only has 2 years left.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit interesting to me as like I think the Hornets could be a team that's like scrapping for the play-in tournament at the end of the year, possibly. And I think MPJ helps you a lot more than LaMelo does at this point. So
oh man.
I don't mind that.
I will say this has been one of the worst fake trade seasons we've had. Like between Ja, Anthony Davis, LaMelo, like all these trade packages are so depressing because these are all guys who, when the teams acquired them, and for large stretches of their career, were seen as face of the franchise type guys.
Yep.
And so to trade away those players for what you're describing a lot of times is like peanuts. You know, this is just like, hey, here's some matching salaries and maybe you'll get a pick. That is such a tough trade to make.
Yeah. But if you're the Hornets, you feel like you're in a good spot without him. And you would almost like as a franchise rather have the minutes for some of these other players and the savings that you get as a franchise too. As a bad team, like you need to save money during that time. Like you need to be able to do that. And so if I'm the Hornets, I would consider many of these just to offload him and to like enter a new era of Hornets basketball.
Do you have any read on how Hornets fans feel about LaMelo?
I don't really know. My guess is that they would hate all of these and that they would be very mad that I would ask any of these teams to to give that kind of package back for him. But I don't really know. That's just my personal feel for where this team is headed. Is like LaMelo just clearly does not fit with like style of play, with the way they play in general is like very almost like the antithesis of like what LaMelo is, which is like all flash.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a coincidence that this report came out after that Pacers loss because that was about as low as it can get right now.
Yep,
especially with the way LaMelo played in that game.
I would say it's usually there aren't very many coincidences in the NBA.
You should point out LaMelo responded to these reports with the clown emoji, so take that for what it's worth. Maybe he loves it in Charlotte. Maybe he doesn't have interest.
He probably does. I mean, he's living an awesome life.
Yeah. Andrew, you mentioned the Clippers. My what this week is the James Harden season the Clippers are currently wasting.
Yeah.
I remember last season, Kawhi was out at the beginning of the year. There was quickly this all-star push for Harden because of the way he was keeping the Clippers afloat during that period. And while I got the argument, I didn't totally buy that he would deserve it over someone like Ivica Zubac, who was anchoring a great defense that was that team's identity. Meanwhile, Harden was shooting under 40% from the field. He was averaging a nice 22, 6, and 9 pre-All-Star break, but not like crazy. Well, nowadays, Andrew, if anyone other than Harden wasn't terrible on the Clippers, I think he'd have an even more deserving All-Star bid compared to last season. One of the most troubling things about the Clippers right now is that Harden has been as good offensively as the Clippers could have hoped for.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter because of the injuries and the construction of this roster. He is currently averaging 26, 6, and 9 on 44, 38, 92 splits. He's getting to the line almost 8 times per game, something he hasn't done since the 21-22 season. When he's on the court, the Clippers offense is 19 points per 100 possessions better, which is in the 98th percentile per cleaning the glass. Now, he still obviously has his faults. He's certainly not helping their transition defense, which is currently giving up 147.2 points per 100 transition plays, worse than any other team by a lot. But it's just wild to think about him coming to the Clippers a few years ago. The expectation was he's going to be the third guy next to Kawhi and PG. And for the last 2 seasons now, James Harden has absolutely carried this team in his age 35 and 36 seasons. I'm just genuinely stunned both at how good James Harden continues to be as an
Yeah.
offensive engine at his age, but also that the Clippers are wasting these performances. Like, you think it's bad now. If this team ever has to attempt to survive without James Harden for a couple weeks, it's going to be an abomination on the
Yeah, it
court.
won't happen. Yeah.
And so that's my what this week.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And from something bad to something good, which is apparently something that I just do all the time now. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets with Adam Mares right after this quick break.
All right, Andrew, it is time for the Wheel of Fandom, the weekly segment where we spin a wheel, it lands on a team, and we become fans of that team for the next week. Last week, the wheel landed on the Denver Nuggets. Now, the first piece of news we found out was last Friday that Nuggets starter Christian Braun would miss the next 6 weeks with an ankle sprain. Stepping into the starting lineup this week was Peyton Watson, who took advantage of the opportunity, scoring a career-high 32 points in a win against the Pelicans. Now, for the week, the Nuggets went 2-1. In addition to that win against New Orleans, Denver got a really nice win against the Wolves in Minnesota. And sandwiched between those wins was a pretty rough loss to the Bulls at home, who were on the second night of a back-to-back. Per Cleaning the Glass, the 11-3 Nuggets have the second-ranked offense and fifth-ranked defense. Andrew, if the Nuggets are our favorite team, who is our guest?
It's our friend Adam Mares from DNVR and the All NBA podcast. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be joining you guys. So wait, last week is when you became fans, and then Christian Braun got hurt immediately?
Wow,
Yes.
that's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what the wheel
Interesting.
does.
Interesting timing.
The wheel will do that. Although Peyton Watson, the last time I saw Peyton Watson in person was in OKC during the preseason, and he looked like a monster. He looked like he was like ready to like unleash like this like on ball creation, and like that kind of went away, but then it kind of came back, So I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Adam, let's the Minnesota Timberwolves have been a problem for the Nuggets for several years. It's only 2 games, but this is the first time the Nuggets have beat the Wolves twice in a row in the regular season since the 2021 season. Are you feeling confident that dynamic of this rivalry has like finally shifted in the Nuggets' favor?
I am. Absolutely am. And I think there were 2 reasons that the Nuggets struggled with that particular lineup. Really 3 reasons. I think first reason was Jamal Murray was not up to the challenge of the athleticism and how much they pressured him full court. And I know this. I mean, we know some guys, there's been some guys coming over from Minnesota that were with Minnesota over the last couple of years, and now we're with Denver. And, it was, hey, we had a game plan. We were going to wear him down, full court press, wear him down. And the fourth quarter, we'd smother him. He had no legs left. He's come in better shape. He looks like he's up for that challenge and takes it a little more personally. The athleticism of the team in years past, Denver has been below a threshold where their athleticism, McDaniels, Randall, it just overwhelmed them. But you add some athletes to the roster this year, you add some depth, and that has helped you out. And then the toughness is the last part of this. You know who wasn't owned by the Minnesota Timberwolves? Bruce Brown. Last time he was in Denver, that was not a problem. They beat him in the playoffs. He matched their intensity and their toughness.
Yep.
You inject Valanciunas, him, Tim Hardaway Jr. It's just these guys, I think, make the matchup a lot less intimidating.
So when you're a fan of a great team like Denver, it's easy to overanalyze every loss. Did the Bulls loss reveal anything actually concerning, or do you just look at it as a dumb loss?
Well, they've lost to him 3 times in a row now. They got swept by the
Oh, no,
Bulls.
are they the new Wolves?
So the Wolves, I think Denver has settled that one, but there's 2 rivalries now that they have not settled. Yes, the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Wizards, who also swept them last year.
No, I remember. Yeah.
Despite Jokic's 61-point game, they still lost to the Wizards, so there's something there. There might be something to how they play. I mean, there might be a little bit of just the fast pace. I think more to the point, Denver, the first game back off of the road trip, they did not approach that game very well. I don't think there's anything structurally you look at in that game that say, oh, Denver should be concerned because they couldn't stop this or that. They just didn't. They lost a little motivation this week. They've had some very impressive games, lost to Chicago. beat New Orleans in a bit of an unimpressive way. So going into this marquee game with Houston, they're not exactly like hitting their stride against these bad teams.
Yeah, you can see like Jokic's defensive engagement, like when he sees teams that aren't very good, just like drop like 5 or 6 levels.
That's so I think it's one of the defining traits. You know, the Nuggets have never won 10 games in a row in the Jokic era, which
Wow.
is
Wow,
crazy. Like Detroit
that is
Pistons, I
crazy.
think, are on a 12-game win streak or something like
Yeah,
that right now. And they've never done it. And I think it's a little bit of this. You know, when he sees New Orleans on the calendar, he's like, it's going to be boring.
yeah. There's a ton of truth to that because like we watched him in that 7-game series. He was awesome
Yeah.
against OKC. Like he
He
was just
locks in.
spectacular every night. He's a very good player when he decides to be. Um, Cameron Johnson was the Nuggets' big offseason acquisition. It's been kind of a rocky start, but he's arguably had his best 2 games this week. What were some of the issues early on for him, and then what has looked different to you in these last couple games?
With Cam Johnson, I really think there's only one real issue, and that is he wasn't making his shots. And the shots looked weird. Like you could tell, you know, sometimes good shooters just go through slumps. It looks right. It's just for whatever reason he's off by a hair and he has to recalibrate. His shot was a little flat. It'd be a little rushed. He had air balls. I think there was a little bit of pressure or something going on with him. It's even possibly dealing with an injury. I know in training camp they would hold him out some days and it was always it's precautionary, it's precautionary. And you think, well, precautionary in training camp doesn't feel right. Maybe there's something
Yeah.
going on there. So maybe a little bit of something that he's dealing with behind the scenes, but every other aspect of his game, I think, has been fantastic. And sometimes when you are the third, fourth, or fifth option next to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, your real impact is on how well those guys play because your job is to occupy space and create space and occupy a defender. Well, you look at Jokic, for a guy that has been the most efficient volume scorer in NBA history, he's having his most efficient year. And a lot of that is Cam Johnson spaces, he's always in the right spot. And he also reacts to what they're doing well. He cuts when he's supposed to cut. He screens really well. He just reads the court. And so he hasn't made shots. And I honestly think it's just that when he's on the court, the Nuggets offense has been humming. And Jokic is having a career year for a reason, and he's one of them.
What do you think about the 3-point volume? Because you know, I noticed he's taken under 4 per game right now. He did have a very nice game this week where he took 7, but you know, last year he took 7 per game for the Nets. He was replacing MPJ, who was a high volume shooter, and it doesn't seem like the volume has been there necessarily yet. What? How do you explain that?
Well, I would explain it's interesting, and we'll have to see throughout the year if that number changes, but it's been very loud. It's not just the shooting. He doesn't touch the ball very much. I mean, there are
Yeah,
times where he'll go a whole stint and maybe touch the ball 3 times. When Michael Porter was here, he called it the coffin corner. He hated going to the corner because the coaches would always tell you, get to the corner, because that allows us to do the action we want. And Michael Porter hated it. He'd go off script a lot because you would go there 6, 7, 8 times in a row and the ball never found you. But it's like, yeah, but you did your job. You dragged the defense with you.
yeah.
I think Cam Johnson is just much more willing to do that. And as a result, he is in the
Mm,
coffin corner doing his job, but that just means he's not actually getting shots. I do think Denver's going to have to find he's too good of a pick and roll player for him to just be the floor spacer. I think they can find him in the pick and roll more. But the truth is, we're 14 games into this, and I'm looking at Cam Johnson going, he might be more KCP than Michael Porter, where your
mm.
job is actually not to be noticed until the ball finds you on the kick out and then just knock it down. But
Mm.
4 or 5 possessions, you don't touch it, that's normal.
So there's been a lot of talk about the Nuggets defense this season, currently ranked in the top 5. There are some obvious points of regression coming. For instance, Denver is giving up the second most corner threes per game, and opponents are shooting a league worst 31.8% on those shots. But what do you think is real with this defense compared to last season's team?
So I definitely think there's some luck in a lot of the numbers. Denver's gotten lucky with some of the shooting and teams they've gone against. They've also gone against some bad teams. We're early enough in the season that they're still like tonight, number 1 offense they go up against. We'll see how everything holds. But I think the number one reason their defense has been good so far is that they have a new scheme. And I think when teams put in a new scheme like Denver, teams have been going against Denver for a long time, Jokic, and they've had more or less the same defensive pick and roll coverage. They've changed it up this year. And I wonder if there's just a little bit of like uh, um, the scouting on Denver is a little behind. So teams are attacking them with the old assumptions. We've always attacked them this way. And now that they're doing some things differently, teams have just been slow to adjust. But I do think they'll be improved defensively. They have more depth. One of the things that I think is underrated about the Nuggets over the last handful of years is Jokic 37 minutes, 36 minutes. He's playing a lot because every time he's off the court, they're hemorrhaging points. He has to get back in. It's hard to play defense when you're the offensive engine and playing 37 minutes. This year, everybody's minutes are down, and I think it allows them to go a little bit harder on the defensive end. So between the scheme and the depth, I think that's really the reason for the improvement.
We were talking earlier about how maybe against some of these bad teams, it's harder for Jokic to get up defensively. I was just looking on Clean the Glass because you can sort by when they play teams with a top 10 point differential versus like
Yeah.
bottom 10. Against top 10 teams, which it's only been 3 games, but they have the number 1 defense in the league. And when it's the bottom 10, it drops down to like middle of the league.
This is hilarious. This is real. This is definitely real. For all of Jokic's like great traits about him, he has to be mentally engaged for him to be great. And there are a lot of teams where you can just tell like he is not engaged in this game tonight.
Yeah.
But that actually makes it like going into the playoffs, I should sort by when they play against the good teams to get a better read on like how good defensively this team is.
Well, if you also know another thing for Denver over the last handful of years, I don't know if this was true last year, but they've been a great fourth quarter defense, a great clutch time defense. And that's what the one thing I've always said is, okay, they can do that. That's why they'll be better in the playoffs defensively, is they can do it when it matters. They just can't do it all the time.
You ever run out of things to say about Jokic with like how good he is? Because he's had a ridiculous start to this season.
The thing about him, oh no, is my camera is starting to freak out on me here. Mike, I've been live for too long here. I'm going to switch to my ugly camera if I can.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if I
cool.
can. I don't know if I can.
Listen, this is not me trying to sabotage like good things about Jokic right now just because I'm in OKC. Like I will allow people to talk good about Jokic on this show. Although this appears right now as like a complete sabotage on my end. I'm not controlling this, people.
Let me see if this worked here. A quick reset. But it's funny. My camera only has like an hour and a half to it before it dies.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, I've been live for a little bit. All right. Here's the thing with Yoke. It's hard to isolate what he could be better at, these little skills, because he has so many of them. But little skills now, when you're at this level, little skills can have a big impact. One of those is 3-point shooting. That was the one thing. If you had to live with something, live with his 3-point shooting. Last year, 40%. This year, 40%. He's shooting them with confidence. He's actually taking threes at a higher rate than ever before. And I think that is no longer a viable option of, hey, we'll just make him shoot jumpers. He's comfortable doing it. And then face-up game, like he's so much of a stationary, work the elbows. I think this actually comes from Caruso and how they were able to guard him last year. I think he feels, and I feel, that when a player has his back to the basket, little guys are allowed a physicality that is just higher than in reverse if you're a big guy guarding a littler guy. But for some reason, when you face up, everybody just gets fouls. Like it's so easy to draw fouls in the NBA faced up. So I think Jokic has come back with a slight more aggressive face-up game, and my hunch is it's for that reason. Okay, if I get a Caruso on me and I try to back him down, he's quick enough and he can just do whatever. But if I turn my body to him now and back and then face and go, he's just been doing that a lot, getting to the foul line a little bit more, and I think that's the part. And those little adjustments now make him even more difficult to guard. How he gets open off ball, there's been a lot of like, rather than post up, David Adam's talked about posting up takes a lot of energy because you have to kind of wrestle for position. He's cutting into post up. So it's almost like a fake cut. Like I'm cutting to the basket. You have to beat me to the spot, but now I'm just going to bury you. And they're running it intentionally. So these little micro skills, I think, that he's picked up because in playoffs, he said, how are teams guarding me? And what's the counter to that? And it's making a big impact so far.
Man. So they play the Rockets tonight, and we're recording this on Friday afternoon. But both these teams are giant, great rebounding teams. They don't take a ton of threes, but like, what are some of the things that you're looking for against Houston tonight?
Denver has struggled a little bit with athleticism. We talked about Minnesota. That was one of the big advantages. They've closed the gap on that, but they're still more athletic than Denver, and that can be a challenge, especially when you just full court press Jamal Murray, the ball handler. Other guys have to bring it up. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking if Denver goes to this double big lineup. Like if you talk about Steven Adams versus Aaron Gordon is almost always stronger than his matchup. He's not against Steven Adams, and that's why they always are able to go to that lineup. So does Denver go to Big Val tonight alongside Jokic? Those guys have already played some minutes together, but usually it's like 2 minutes at a time, 2 minutes, and then we get it out of there. They might have to go to it for 5-6 minutes in a row tonight, and I'm just so curious to see if they can do that. And then Şengün always goes at Jokic. I think these Jokic acolytes, love going at Yoke, and Yoke picks and chooses how often he cares about them. But Şengün is good enough, and this is a marquee game enough, that I think both of those guys are going to actually bring their A game against each other tonight.
Yeah, it should be a great one. Adam, thank you for answering all of our Denver Nuggets questions. But it's time to play Andrew versus the Beat, our weekly trivia show where Andrew goes head-to-head against the NBA beat writer. This week, Adam Mares from DNVR and the All-NBA podcast. Now, Adam, you've played this before. I came up with 8 questions about the Nuggets. You'll give me a number between 1 and 8. It will correspond to a question. If you get it right, you'll get at least 2 points. If you get it wrong, Andrew will have a chance to steal for 1, and we'll go back and forth until all the questions have been asked and answered. So to start us off, I just need a number between 1 and 8.
I'm going to go with, let's go with 5.
Question number 5. Who has had their shot blocked the most on the Nuggets this season?
Ooh, who has had their shot blocked the most? That's a good one. I almost have to pull up their roster to be able to look at this. Let me think. Peyton Watson seems to get blocked a lot, but he doesn't play enough minutes. You almost have to go off of like attempts. Jokic gets his shot blocked a lot, but goes right back up with it. I'm going to go with, let's go with, is it Jokic?
That is incorrect. Andrew, you have a chance to steal for 1 point.
Is it Christian Brown?
It is not. I asked it because I thought it was just strange that this player has had their shot blocked the most. It is
AG?
Bruce Brown.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. He has not taken very many shots.
I know. That's why I thought it was so strange. He already had 10 blocked shots. Okay, Andrew, board is yours.
Number 1.
Question number 1. In honor of Peyton Watson having his first 30-point game of his career, we're going to name every Nugget that has scored 30 points in a game during the Jokic era. Oh, wow. So, other than Jokic and Peyton Watson, there are 16 other Nuggets that have scored 30 points since the 15-16 season. So how this works is Andrew will give me a name, then Adam will give me a name, and we'll go back and forth till one of you stumbles. So Andrew, start us off.
Jamal Murray?
A great guess. Adam.
Michael Porter Jr.
Another good guess. Andrew.
Gallo?
Danilo Gallinari. That is correct. Back to Adam.
I'm going to go Aaron Gordon, who has also had a 30-point game.
Aaron Gordon.
Had a 50-piece.
I was going to say, had a 50-piece.
Andrew?
That 10 for 11 is like doing so much work for him right now.
Really
I feel like
it really is.
What an incredible game. I'm trying to think back to earlier. Wilson Chandler?
Yeah, Wilson Chandler. Wow. All right, Adam.
Christian Brown has 1. I looked it up when Peyton Watson got his. He has a 30-point game.
That is correct. Back to Andrew.
Oh, boy. I'm going to feel real dumb. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to the real dumb one or not. Well, okay, I'll say that the Will Barton?
Will the Thrill Barton is correct.
Yeah, he's got to have one for sure.
Okay.
I think he was 3rd on the list in terms of most 30-point. Or he was 4th.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Gary Harris has had a 30-point game for sure.
Yes, he has. All right, you guys are doing great. I think 8 more names.
Oh, wow.
8.
Wow.
Oh,
this is a good one. I love this one.
Andrew, you got any names left?
I do, but I feel dumb. Like there's some of these that I just feel dumb about. I don't know why. I'm gonna save that one in my head put it in my back pocket, I guess. What about Malik Beasley? Did he do it?
He sure did. Malik Beasley. Like all right, back to Adam.
This includes playoffs, I assume. This is playoffs.
Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know if I sorted by playoffs.
Okay. The guy I think should have got it, although I can't honestly remember it happening, but it feels like it happened, was Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap, he did do it. He did do it. All right, we're down to 6 names, Andrew.
He did do it.
He did do it.
Okay, yeah, that's one that I was thinking of where I was like, I don't know. Like I
can't actually remember.
You probably did that?
Probably did.
This is another one where I just think he certainly had the potential to. Did Jeremy Grant do it?
I
Oh,
don't think so.
Andrew, and that's where
Oh,
the game
man.
ends. So 1 point for Adam. All that for 1 point. The other names: Russell Westbrook,
Yeah.
Andrew,
Golly.
Reggie Jackson,
That's
another
right.
Thunder guard, Bruce Brown,
Ooh.
DeMarcus Cousins,
Okay.
Randy Foy,
Of course.
Wow.
Of course.
and Emmanuel Mudiay.
Oh, Moutier. Dang.
So I was
Yeah.
thinking Austin Rivers he had that big playoff game, but it might not have been 30. So I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Against Portland.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if he reached 30 or 20 would have been a big game for him. I don't know.
Emmanuel Moutier.
Okay, Adam, you're up. 1 zip.
Let's go to 2.
Okay, through 14 games, Nikola Jokic is shooting over 70% on over 12 two-point shots per game. Among active players, there have been 4 other players that have had a similar streak in their career. How many can you name? Now, you do get 1 point per correct answer. You could get 4 points. So these are players who have had a 14-game span where they also shot over 70% on over 12 two-pointers per game.
Man, on over 12 2-pointers is tough because Gafford had that run, but that was on very low volume.
Yeah.
So you're talking about guys hyper efficient around the basket at volume. You're looking at dunkers. You're looking at guys that are playing right around the rim. Whew. Man, this is a tough one. Because efficiency has also entered the landscape more recently. You go back to some of these 80s guys and they're just throwing the ball at the rim. I'll go with Shaq. It doesn't feel like an embarrassing one.
This is active players. Sorry.
This is active players. Sorry.
Active
Okay,
players,
that makes
yeah.
it a little easier. 12 attempts a game.
Yeah, Shaq probably did do it. Sounds like a Shaq thing.
Seems like he would have done this. Who are the efficiency guys at that volume? Giannis.
Giannis is 1.
Okay. Let me see where else we can go here. I don't know if Gobert had the volume for this. How about the volume is the question here, but what about Zubats?
That is incorrect. Andrew, you could steal 3 points.
Oh, my gosh. Embiid?
No.
Wow.
Both of you are going to be kicking yourself. LeBron James.
Well, makes sense, yeah.
And then the other 2 were the ones I didn't think you'd ever get. Clint Capella.
Does kind of make sense.
Makes sense, but... And then John Collins did it once upon a time in Atlanta.
I would have never.
Collins
never.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, you're down 2 zip.
Oh, boy. Number 3.
Good luck. According to Cleaning the Glass, when this player is on the court, the Nuggets' 3-point percentage is 10.4% points higher than when he's off the court. That differential is the second highest in the league behind only AJ Green in Milwaukee. Who is the player? So when this guy's on the court, the Nuggets are bombing threes and they're hitting everything.
Oh, boy. Okay. The way the good luck makes it seem like it's not some obvious guys.
Yeah, I know. This one's tough.
I guess I'll say Bruce Brown, but I just don't know.
That is incorrect. Adam, you have a chance to steal.
3-point rate goes up when he's on the court.
And I guess it's not the rate. I mean, it might be, but it's the percentage, the actual
the percentage
accuracy.
That goes up. I mean, I would guess the obvious answer here feels like it's Jokic. So I would say Jokic.
It does feel obvious, but no, the second best differential in the league is currently Peyton Watson.
See, that's so
court.
random, man.
It's very random.
Yeah, that makes I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, board is yours.
Let's go with number 4. I like this top line.
Who? Nope, not who. What is Jonas Valanciunas' career high in points? Now you get to choose who answers first. You can make Andrew answer first and then go higher or lower, or you answer first and Andrew will go higher or lower.
Andrew has to guess first.
All right, Andrew, you could get a bonus point if you get it exactly correct.
Okay.
Jonas Valanciunas.
37.
High. 37. Adam, would you like to go higher or lower?
I'm going lower.
Once upon a time, Jonas Valanciunas scored 39 points in a game.
39.
Yes.
That's a point for Andrew.
Oh.
Andrew, you're very good at those. You always get within one or two.
It's just I got a feel, just like a gut
Natural
feel.
All right, Andrew, you've cut the lead in half. It's now 2-1. The board is
Number
yours.
6.
Question number 6. Cleaning the Glass has the Nuggets as the 5th best defense so far. In the Cleaning the Glass database, which goes back to 03-04, the highest finish for a Denver defense ever was 7th in the 08-09 season. This player on the 08-09 Nuggets had the biggest on-off swing for defensive efficiency. Who was it?
Oh my gosh, Al.
What? Normal question. Normal
This is
question.
a crazy question, bro.
No, it's not.
That is insane.
08-09, biggest on-off swing for defensive efficiency on the Nuggets.
Okay. Birdman?
Birdman. No, not Birdman. Adam.
Your options here are like Kenyon Martin, Chauncey Billups, Anthony Carter. I'm going to go with, they had behind Kenyon Nene. I'm going to go with Kenyon Martin.
Well, you just said his name.
But not that one.
But not that one. It was Nene.
Nene.
Nene. All right.
Dang.
We have come down to 2 final questions. Adam, you have a 1-point lead.
Let's do number 8.
Question number 8. Which of the following is not a Basketball Reference official nickname for a Denver Nuggets player?
Oh,
So I'm
come
gonna-
on. I better nail this one.
I'm going to read you 5 nicknames.
my
4 of them
wheelhouse.
appear on Basketball Reference. 1 of them does not. Here they are. Big Aura, Big Science, Big Tipper, Big Honey, or Biggie Smalls. Once again, that is
What?
Big Aura, Big Science, Big Tipper, Big Honey, Biggie Smalls.
My hunch is Biggie Smalls because Big Tipper is Jokic. Big Honey is Jokic. Big Aura, I don't know. I mean, that one, that feels like something I would not say. Oh, Biggie Smalls, I can't even imagine who that would be. There's nobody that fits that. I'm going to guess Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls is Bruce Brown.
No, it's
Bruce
not.
Brown.
No, it's not. It might say that, but it's not.
All right, Andrew.
Big Aura. I don't know who Big Aura is.
Big Aura made it up. Not real.
It felt like something the kids would have said, though, you know?
It is
I
something
know,
the kids
yeah.
would say.
Shout
That
out
is
to me.
That is something the kids would say.
I do love that Valanciunas is Big Science, though.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
knew
great
that
nickname.
That's a great one.
Okay, Andrew, you get first dibs on the final question. It is tied game.
Oh no.
Tie game.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Denver is number 1 in the league in post-up frequency with 12.4 post-ups per game. Which teams are number 2 and 3 in post-ups? And you get 1 point per correct answer.
In post-ups. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be very good at this question. Oh boy. Minnesota?
Andrew, that is incorrect, which sets up an opportunity for Adam to win the week. If he can get one of these teams, who is number 2 or number 3 in post-ups per game?
Man, this is tough. I'm going through and I'm like, none of these teams post up. Who could it possibly be? You get a little bit of guard posting up out of Sacramento. Like they have some guys that post up. Man, none of these teams post up. Houston has some guys that they throw the ball into. They'd be an interesting one. I'm going to go with Chicago a little bit, but not really. I go Houston?
Adam? That is correct! And Adam Mares has won the week 3-2. Houston is
go.
number 2 in the league. And number 3, any guesses?
Well, Sacramento was the next one I was going there, but They don't
was
really
the
post this year.
Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, see, I almost said the
Clippers.
Clippers. just
These
'cause
are
they
like-
to
Oh,
throw
I'm
it to
sure.
Zoo.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
thought about it. I did. I thought about it. Okay. Go check out DNVR. Go check out the All NBA podcast. Adam does great work. And listen, if you just have time, go watch their YouTube streams after the games. They're super fun. It's super duper fun at DNVR. So go check those out. Adam, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much. And hey, I hope you're looking forward to this Denver OKC matchup here in 4 months.
I was gonna
No,
say,
Can't
seriously.
wait, man. Can't wait.
God, we got to play like the Jazz again. We got.
So ridiculous, man.
I know it is. I can't wait for it. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Andrew. That was Denver Nuggets week.
Yup.
What a week it was.
A week.
But it's time to spin the wheel and choose a new team. We still have a lot of teams.
There's
How many
a
do we
lot
got?
of teams.
We got 26 teams left.
There's some scary teams on there, Al. Some teams I would not.
Yeah,
would not
scary
want.
good, scary bad.
Scary good, scary bad. Oh
Let's
no.
see. This week's Wheel of Fandom team will be. Oh, finally, the Washington Wizards.
You know, I think we had to bring Josh Robbins
Woo!
on the NBA Daily in order for this to happen. We had to bring him on for this to actually happen. And he was just saying, if you guys listen to the NBA Daily Friday morning, he was talking about his bond with us. And so, listen.
Wow. Well, this is exciting because the Wizards are currently on a 12-game losing streak. They could be challenging for that Pistons record coming
Wow.
up here. And
Wow.
boy, do we have some beautiful games. Let's see. We're going to be watching at Toronto on
Okay.
Friday, at the Bulls on
Okay.
Saturday, second night of a back-to-back. This is going to be tough for those Wiz. Tuesday, they play the Atlanta Hawks. Those are our games, Andrew.
And-
Those are the games.
And I will add, this might not be next Saturday, but the Saturday after, because next week is Thanksgiving. And we typically do our check-in
Oh,
with
yeah.
Sam Vecini during the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then we will have 2 weeks of Wizards. So
2 weeks of Wizards. Well,
prepare yourself.
okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm not saying they're going to lose all these games, but let's just say they did.
Yeah.
What would the streak be? Let's see. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We'd be up to a 19-game losing streak if they lost every game in the next 2 weeks.
That'd be really impressive. I hope we get to do that podcast with Josh Robbins where they've lost 19 in a row.
It'll be so
Let's-
sad.
It'll be so sad. Something that doesn't make me sad, but makes me really happy is when you leave 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, just like this one from Marco Brenis. He says, hugs from Puerto Rico. Greetings from Puerto Rico. I'm a fellow colleague who works as a history and draft expert for another major network that I won't mention, but let's
Ooh.
just say I work with Deportes. I also host
Oh.
a Spanish language NBA podcast, which I won't name either because that would feel a bit sleazy. I just want you to know that Slam and Jam is one of my very few NBA podcasts I recommend on the show. Wow, thank you for that. The blend of solid information, thoughtful opinions, and lighthearted comedy is something I aspire to. Also, I know this is going to sound pretentious. I would comfortably dominate Andrew in trivia. All jokes aside, a warm hug to both of you, and thank you for what you do. That was an awesome, very kind 5-star review, and I very much appreciate that.
Yeah,
That made me
you should have dropped the
feel
pod name. We would have said it with all those nice things.
I know, we really would have. We really would have. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy your weekend and the basketball, and we'll talk to you guys again next Saturday.